Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Salem. And I hope that you enjoyed our magical mystical 1000th video on MagickTV this morning. And we continue forward now with video number 1001. Our daily vlog, and our question tonight comes to us from Afterfove. And this basically continues our existing conversation on the relationship between deity and justice, but with a somewhat different twist. And Afterfove brings up the idea that humanity is meant to act as an agent of change in the world, and brings up the suggestion, for example, of how by domesticating the wolf, we changed it from a creature which formerly hunted sheep to one which herds them, meaning modern dog. And this is absolutely true. And I do think that this aspect of being an agent of change is part of the reason why the human race is what it is. Now, I would not say that that is necessarily the reason for the incarnation of our souls in the physical, which I think has more to do with experiencing existence, but the particular way in which we experience existence as humans is as an agent of change. Now, we certainly make a huge impact on this planet as an agent of change. And I think for both good and ill, according to the occasion. We are not, however, particularly unnatural in this. We're not the only creature that does so. There are many creatures in nature that do drastically change their environment. A couple of examples, a fairly mild example is perhaps the most famous, and that is the beaver with its dam, that radically changes its environment in terms of water level, etc. A more similar example might be those gigantic insect colonies that basically totally transform their immediate environment and totally control it in a way very similar to what humans do. However, we certainly do have a much farther reach and a much greater scope for the changes that we enact on the planet. And I do think that is part of our reason for being what we are specifically. I've remarked before in the vlog that I was raised with a lot of influence from Lady Bitterwind. And for those of you who are not familiar with Lady Bitterwind, she is the first elder of the Corellian tradition, and you can see her biography at Corellian.com under the bio section. And Lady Bitterwind has very distinct ideas about a lot of things. She has a very original way of looking at the world, and her attitude is that we are very much intended to be an agent of change in the world. And she believes in the idea that the dinosaurs, who were once the dominant life form on the planet, were wiped out by an asteroid which struck the planet and created a cataclysm that eliminated the dinosaur. Now, whether this is true or not, we really don't know. We can only speculate. But assuming that it is, Lady Bitterwind's point of view is that the great Earth Mother loved her children, the dinosaurs. And when they were wiped out, she was horrified. When many other forms of life were wiped out more or less all at once, she was horrified. And she resolved to create a species of life that would be so creative and so resourceful that if another asteroid ever headed toward the Earth, assuming they had time enough to develop, they would be ingenious enough to prevent such a thing ever happening again. And so Lady Bitterwind believes that the human race was developed in part to defend the Earth from any such happening. And therefore, we have an unlimited ability to transform everything we touch. And, you know, I do find this to be a relatively compelling argument, or at least one that I like. And it is often said of humans that we are one of the few creatures in existence that has both unlimited free will and unlimited creativity. In the New Age community, this is a very common point of view. And they would say that there are other species, other creatures in the spiritual world and in the physical world which have free will, and there are other creatures in the spiritual and physical world which have creativity, but none that have them both in the same dynamic that humans do. And while I don't know that I would completely endorse that point of view, I do endorse it to some extent, because I do believe that both creativity and free will are extremely important in humans being humans. And I do agree with Lady Bitterwind that we have not developed these things by accident or without the desire of deity for us to be able to do these things. So, in answer to Afterfove's question, yes, I do believe we are partly here to be an agent of change. And I do believe that in doing things such as taking the wolf and guiding its evolution from wolf to dog, we were in part fulfilling our role on this planet. That said, the original wolf still has a good place too. And not all dogs turned out really well. And we need to remember that as well. However, having said all of this, it still brings us back to the original point, which is that when we talk about justice and its relationship to deity, it's one thing to talk about our human perspective, including our human role in the universe, and another thing to talk about the perspective of deity. And so I don't think this really changes the original point of view that I'm taking in any way. To me, they're completely consonant with one another. But yes, I do believe that humanity has a role of transformation and of acting as an agent of change in the world. So, those are my thoughts on that. Until next time, may you blessed be. And check out my new subscription site, thedailyspell.com. For 12 years now, we've been sending out the Daily Spell easy and free of charge to literally thousands of people, and will continue to do so. Thedailyspell.com is a subscription site meant to augment that daily service with deeper stories, deeper news, videos, entertainment, information, many daily features such as Marianne's Mystic Gem of the Day, the daily tarot card, the daily bio, and many more things. So check it out. Subscriptions are $19.99, and until next time, may you blessed be.